Brian and James, you both covered a lot of 6.82 last episode, namely the Phantom Lancer rework, the Bloodseeker rework, very similar to what Scion saw in League of Legends. I don't know. A week later, how are you guys feeling about the Rekindling Soul update? Now that 6.82B is out, God,
It's
Brian,
weird.
you had your time in the sun.
I know. I miss it. It was amazing when they released 6.82. There was a best of 3 going on, in a pro best of 3 game going on, and game 1 had just been won, and then the update.
Game 2 was the update.
Game 2 was the update, and one of the supports, they were losing badly, and one of the supports got a kill on an enemy carry and got like 2,500 gold, which is huge in Dota.
Insane.
And he's like, "This can't be right. Like, I have a mechanism now."
It's a full item, like mid-game item.
It'd be getting like 1,000 or 1,000, like 1,500 in the league.
Yeah, it's like getting like a needlessly large rod or something. Yeah,
It's amazing. Like, I really loved it because the comebacks were crazy. Like, there are some players who will just dominate a whole game, and if they die, they'll give up. They'll have a streak and they'll lose the gold streak or whatever, and it sucks. But now it was like, if you look at the golden XP graphs, it was like
it was nothing but spikes, because every kill, because anybody who got a streak, right? Like if you got a triple kill or whatever, your bounty was massive. And anybody who killed you would get this enormous amount of gold based on the new formula they had implemented for 682.
And experience. So basically, it was going off of your level and your
net worth.
Your net worth. It changed the formula, and if someone got a kill on you, if you're that far ahead, it would factor in all those things and give you a payout basically based on how far ahead they were.
It was this very weird math
How do you
formula
guys feel about it? Do you think it's bad?
So when it came out, there was a lot of controversy. We played with this one guy who is very, very good, and he was of the mind that this is not fair, because if I'm dominating, I'm being punished for it because I'm getting less gold for my kills. Then if somebody kills me once, they get this massive payout, and they can get an item, and then they can totally, like, the swings were huge. And the golden XP graph were almost identical the entire time, right? Like, you look at them, and it's like huge spike, massive drop, huge spike, massive drop. And with 6.82, which is the new update, 6.82B, they kind of rounded out that formula. So the way it works now is you actually get less money the more people you kill. Like, so, I mean, this has always been the case, but it's a lot more drastic. So if you get 1 kill, you make X amount of money plus the net worth and level. If you get 5 kills, that money drops way lower than it used to be. So if you get 1 kill, you might get like 500 gold. If you get a rampage and get all 5 kills, you might get like 1,500 gold.
It seems like there's no subtlety right now. Like 6.82 was this massive, like, okay, we want people to never feel like they're out of the game, and then people are like complaining, and Valve's like, all right, hold on. Now
we'll fix it.
All the way back to the
and
other
I feel
side.
like I've been beating this nonstop. I feel like everything with 6.82 so far is an overcorrection in both directions. It's like, oh no, sorry, we'll throw it way back that way. Okay, cool, we fixed that. Now it's behind us. Nobody look back. Are you angry? Bring it back. We'll put it over here. I don't know. I feel like the 6.82B update, which was purely the math update, it was like the algebra update where they just fixed the gold. I feel like now I haven't played too many games with that particular update, but it was enough to go like, all right, this feels
noticeable,
like good. It feels even now. Like we can win a team fight and not feel like, all right, it's over, goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna throw one other thing out there. My favorite thing in the 6.82 update is ranked all pick.
Oh, it's so good.
It works the best.
It's kind of a fusion of like a captain's mode. I don't know what it is in the league. Is it the same thing? Is there an equivalent to captain's mode? Interpreter James.
Yeah, there is, right?
Yeah. Captain's mode. I don't know what.
Whatever.
Captain's
So anyway,
in all pick, there are picks and bans.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in ranked all pick, there are no bans. It's basically you start out and there's like a 30, 45 second strategy period.
Yep.
And then each team alternates 1 pick.
Okay.
So your team picks 1, my team
draft
picks
pick.
1.
Basically,
actually.
but without
a ban.
Without bans.
Okay.
So we never used to play ranked at all. I don't think we have ever queued for ranked, except as like
A few times,
our
maybe.
tournament team. Let's try and
Right.
get our MMR. That was it. But as like a party in all pick, like maybe a few times, but I don't have a party MMR. Now we're like 1 game away from that for me.
Yeah, people would wait until the 0 second mark, and if it hit 0, not everyone, the person who didn't pick would start losing gold.
Oh wow.
But it's not very much gold, so they would just wait and see what the other team picked, and then try to pick
And then
counters.
counterpick.
Oh, okay.
And that happened most games, like three or four games.
Like
that
if you
would
picked
happen.
a character before 10 seconds, that was weird.
You
like,
lost.
It was so strange
Yep.
because
Yeah,
they would
you
just
get counterpicked.
And
yeah,
now-
they would alt tab counterpick.com
and
and
ranked all
then
pick does that now. It kind of stops that, and if they don't pick their hero when the time hits 0, everyone on that team loses 2
That
gold.
rhymed.
It takes.
by the way.
There we go.
It was pretty magical. Sorry, I just wanted to point that out. People said, don't pick hero before it hits 0. Sorry, guys.
So,
Rapper
was on a
Brian
horrible-
O'Howard
Yeah.
coming soon.
I was on a horrible losing streak in Dota. Started playing some ranked all pick. Won my last 6 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. Let's get 7 more to fill out that one page, so it's
Let's
just
do it.
all wins.
All green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys were mentioning about the gold balancing. I know I'm bringing it back a subject or two, but like I feel like this is kind of becoming a trend with MOBAs and competitive games where it's like they want to stop people from snowballing or carrying the team. Like Heroes of the Storm
Big time.
doesn't have gold, right?
Yeah.
It's just
And all the XP is shared.
yeah.
Everybody gets everything.
It's like appealing to the common denominator, the casuals in the crowd who aren't going to carry a team and who are going to cry about losing that hard.
Yeah, and I feel like Dota isn't. It's obviously not like of Heroes of the Storm level of casual, but it is getting a
Yeah.
little more accessible, where it doesn't feel as punishing to play and lose. Personally, like
Yeah.
I feel like if we lost a team fight, we were like, oh man, that was brutal, but let's get back into it.
Yeah,
Whereas it used to be, if you lost one, you lost like 2 towers, and it was
GG,
just
surrender at
it was
20.
just over.
Yeah.
Which
The
you can't
most-
do in Dota.
Oh,
The
God.
most frustrating thing is losing to a team that had one amazing player and the rest were just like, okay.
Yeah, that's carried by
Exactly.
name.
But
Yeah.
now it's usually that one person you can take them down if you all focus together. You might not win the team fight, but you'll take down that person.
Yeah.
And that bounty was massive, and it helped you get back. in
Right,
the
like
game.
you could trade 4 guys and then get your carry, his
Right.
butterfly.
So of course, the probably the best person that we've played with, who's Crispy, who does that. He frequently carries the team that way.
Yes.
He does really well and he gets a bunch of kills, but he's also kind of YOLO about how he plays.
Very much so, yeah.
And so
Reckless.
he'll dive in and die, and of course this is bad for him.
He plays like weird, like I'm gonna play a mid support, but build a bunch of aggressive items on him and dive tower. Like, okay, dude, and
His
he
update
wins.
fit perfectly for how I play, because usually I end up with like a pretty good KD, but I'm also maybe to a fault not as aggressive, and I'll play safely. And
Conservative play.
I'll often have 0 or like 2 deaths.
Yeah.
And so I like this.
Yeah.
But now things have changed. So
The trade-off with that is like we're always like, yeah, we got him, guys. What do we do? I don't know. Let's not worry about the
let's go
towers
get
though.
Roche.
Yeah. Like, we never know what to do after we win a team fight. We're always paralyzed. Like, what just happened?
What happened? We're not dead.
We did it. Oh, they're all back. Every time. And that's less of a concern now. Like I feel like now you gain enough control to feel powerful in 682, but not enough that you feel like you have won already. So you really do have to make a decision. Be like, all right, the next thing we do is going to be valuable, because being able to fortify a tower and make it invincible, and then regaining that fortify the instant your tier 1 goes down is pretty huge. Like that, and having the armor buff on tier 2 tower means that, like, okay, we got them, but they have the fortify, they have the added armor. We might not take this tower.
So I have not a weird question, but you were, at the very beginning of this subject, we talked about the game that happened. So game 1 was on one patch, game 2 was on another patch. I don't understand why they didn't play why they didn't play on an old patch. Like I don't get why that's not a thing. Like
it's a forced update.
yeah, but like you shouldn't be forced to play on a new patch immediately when you haven't practiced it. You haven't
Definitely not on a pro scene.
Yeah, like on the pro scene, that immediately should be like, okay,
Series on
a
hold.
series on hold, or you give them more time to practice on that. So this is a completely different subject, but that's a huge okay, you completely change the way the game is played.
Yeah.
Between 2 games.
Change the rule set.
At the same time, I feel like Dota and MOBAs in general is about adapting or failing. Everything about these games is about improvisation. If you're not figuring it out on the fly, and this is obviously like a bigger, grander subject, but
Yeah.
if you, even in the middle of a game, if you're not adapting to what somebody's doing, which is why in our recreational tournament, we won our game because the other team wouldn't adapt to what we were doing. Like, we would take them in a fight and then spread out and take towers, and they would still just come down the mid lane. They didn't adapt. We won.
Yeah, but in a competitive scene, I feel like they just need to have an understanding of the patch and practice. Like in League, they play like 2 or 3 patches behind, because they're this is what everyone has practiced. This one everyone knows.
That's kind of cool.
So we can have the highest caliber
play at that
at that moment, rather than no one understands once the patch is going on. Understands it quite yet.
But the game felt sort of like the All-Star match at TI4. Sort of
where everyone's just
Looney Tunes.
scrambling and dicking
Everyone
around.
was just talking to each other. They're like, this happened. That's weird, right? Like, it was just chatter. It
Yo,
didn't
y'all
feel
see
like
this
a
new
game.
ward spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. especially with something as drastic as 682, where new characters are in, new characters are out of captain's mode. There are new routes in the map. There are new ward locations. Yep. The map design has changed. There's an additional rune that gives you money and experience that kind of tilts it into a certain character's favor if they pick it up. Like, all of these things are significant factors that drastically affect the game they're playing. It is like, the way I phrased this before is like, this is almost a different game. For me, this got me excited, like them announcing Dota 3 is out today.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the great thing about MOBAs is that they can have those drastic changes. I just feel like, again, you need a ruling body that like is like, or at least the tournament body, or like, I don't even know if you can do tournament realms like you can do in League.
Right.
Like, you need something to be like, someone be like, no, wait, hold on, like this isn't.
Well, we talked about that for our tournament too. Is like, do we roll back? Like, how do we have everybody play on 681? I don't know. Let's just roll with it.
Yeah, and ours is like so unprofessional.
It's
and
such garbage. It's
yeah,
the best.
But yeah, and that's great about our tournament. But like, yeah, like I wouldn't want to see like, say they nerf Dendy's champions, and then Dendy's like, well, I don't know what. Oh, excuse me.
Whoops! Somebody's got to edit that out.
It's your birthday. You're fine.
Yeah, it's your birthday.
I'm gonna timestamp that at 23:57. Carry on.
Well, I don't know what champions to play now. Like
yeah.
Like that's. I don't think that's fair to the players. I don't think that's fair to the fans. Like, it's fun to watch because you're like, oh, that's funny, but it's like, and if you're watching it because you want to see people be competitive and are good at the game.
Well, it's Star Ladder, which is one of the bigger tournaments.
Yeah.
So there's a significant prize pool for that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are paying for compendiums and everything.
Yeah, and so like if your team gets.
That just sounds poorly thought out to me. Like, it shouldn't just be in the middle of a series.
At the same time, they couldn't have seen it coming because Valve is like so insanely like, Riot is up front like, hey, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Valve says, it's out.
Yeah.
And suddenly the map is different and the characters are different and everything you're doing is different. How do we do this?
What do you feel is better? You feel like being that candid and transparent with your changes coming is better?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I would love to know what's happening with Dota before it's out.
Yeah. Be able to prepare.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's Valve's philosophy just to be like, well, this is also just kind of testing because we don't know. Because like, who is testing that stuff? Like, it got announced and it was on a test server for like a day and a half, and then they're like, all right, it's done, like it's out, and you're like, I don't feel like you did that much testing. I don't think you gave that big of a data size to actually like know. Oh, this is okay to put out to the general public.
Case in point, 5 days later they changed something huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of testing, what happened with Azir when Azir got released, it was like immediately just disabled.
Yep.
Because
really?
Wow. His testing of it was probably not thorough enough, but he was like game breaking, like absolutely definition of game breaking. If you used his ultimate on the tower, it disabled the tower completely. Like, completely.
I did not know about that.
How did nobody try that?
I don't know. Like, so the logic is because his ultimate pushes minions and champions away, it pushed the tower's AI out of the tower. So it would just not shoot at you anymore. Yeah.
So
no way.
So I shared it on my Twitter. I was like, "This is
amazing.
ridiculous."
So yeah, the League has some weird things where like Jarvan's ultimate is another thing that can create terrain.
Yeah.
Jarvan sounds like such a fake name.
Yeah.
Sorry. Carry on.
Sorry. His name is
Jarvan.
Jarvan's
He's
the
right
fourth.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, snap! That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Dragon Knight. I thought that was just a Dragon Knight set.
His
Jarvan.
His ultimate, which creates basically like rock arena around around people, kind of like Legion.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can, was coded as minions. Like the terrain around it was coded as minions.
Oh man,
why?
It was, I don't know.
As opposed to okay.
Again, they did this leftover stuff from like early on and like how they built League because he was an early champion.
What a weird engine they use.
Yeah.
They've got to change that tech, man.
I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
that engine is like 10 years old.
And then they've been slowly like making changes so it doesn't happen. But there were like,
of course,
there were just weird interactions that you could have with that wall where you could like push someone through it when you shouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
And it was like, again, there's just weird interactions where people were like, that engine is super weird.
That is so good. I love that.
Yeah, there's some broken stuff that'll probably get fixed in Dota. Did you see? So Bloodseeker got a complete rework, and one of his abilities, you put it on a hero, and that hero deals and takes 40% more damage in all forms. And so when you have Zeus, who can Zeus ult and call down thunderbolts to hit anyone on the map anywhere,
no matter where they are, it hits them.
And now he's doing 40% more damage. So he casts it, refresher orbs to reset all his skills, casts it again.
Does he still have that buff?
That buff's still on there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's an instant rampage at all times.
He got effortless ultra kills.
I might be trying to cheese the system too much, but can you stack that buff? Could you refresh your orb and put the buff on the same person?
No, because it's
It
not
would
his
reset
ultimate.
the duration of it. But
Refresher
it
is
wouldn't
only
double
Refresher only gives you the ultimate.
Oh, okay.
So if
okay,
Bloodseeker casts it, like that's not his ultimate. He can only do it
okay.
once.
I didn't understand that.
My other favorite broken thing about the patch, or not even maybe broken, but was Bloodseeker's speed boost. They created like 40 meepos on the other
That
two.
was so good.
And he got so fast that he was literally a blur, like running around the entire map. He'd get
10,000 movement speed.
Yeah,
is the
he
max.
gets end to end on the map in like under a second. That's
So the
crazy.
average movement speed of a character in Dota is like when you start at like 300. So that's like, League of Legends character movement speed. You get boots, you're a little bit faster.
Yeah.
This is multiplied by that by like actually 500.
Oh my god.
It was so dumb. It was like the Roche. Or did you link the Roche bug? Who linked the Roche bug?
Oh yeah, so you can pull. Imagine being able to pull Baron Nashor out of his pit, and then put down a pile of trees so that he can't get back in. So at that point, the AI goes, "Okay, I need to figure out how to get back in my pit," and just starts wandering and roaming. But the AI isn't aggressive because it's trying to just get home.
Yeah.
Like the aggro is off and it's just roaming. So the Nature's Prophet in this video we saw like follows the Roshan, breaks down a tree. Roshan like wanders into this forest, and then he just puts more trees up, locks Roshan in. He goes, "Yeah, this'll do," and he just stops
there.
in the woods.
And so you can hide him in this corner, and then you can. I don't know if it aggroes once he's in that corner, but you can just sit there like pinging him down from because you can see him, and you're just like, all right.
I would just love to do that and then wait for an enemy team to come to my tower and be like,
Yeah.
"Be free, Roshan!"
just let him loose on the just let him loose on the enemy team.
Like, how terrifying! And then what the? What? Where did you come from? You crazy dinosaur man!
Chen gets another buff. Can
Can now control Roshan because he's not powerful enough.